Good morning, students. How is your day? Hope it is fine. You are welcome to the first lecture for workshop practice. I'm your lecturer for this online May 216 workshop practice and process 2 of the Lasuqaic e-learning program. My name is Atetedaye. The lecture we are considering today is on safety, but let me also inform you that you are free to break and come back at any stage of the class. Is that understood? The topic of our class today is developing safe working habits. As you go on in the lecture, you will understand what is meant by developing safe working habits. Introduction. Engineering is a discipline that deals with design of processes, circuits, mechanism, products, environments, or systems of men and machines. Workshop practice is an important course in engineering which aims at equipping students with theoretical knowledge of the principle of workshop. Workshop is a small establishment where handcrafts or manufacturing works are done. That is, workshop is a mini. Workshop practice is the processes undertaken in the production and manufacturing of components in workshop. Safety precaution is very important topic under workshop practice, which must not be forgotten but be part and parcel of your lives. Unlike any other topic being taught, it should not be learned at a beginning of a program like this and you forget it. It should be a thing that you religiously adhere to, because your safety is very important. Even if you not take care about your own safety, the safety of others, machinery and environment is very important. Therefore, it is not a course that you learn and forget. It should be part and parcel of your lives. Many needless industrial accidents occur today with different degree of injuries and casualties, which ought to have been avoided if people involved have obeyed simple safety rules and regulations. There are a lot of accidents occurring today in our society with untold hardship on the victim, the family of the victim, the colleague in the place of work, the management, and even the nation as a whole. Therefore, safety rules and regulation is very important to adhere to, so in order to avoid unnecessary accidents that can be avoided. The objectives of these studies are the following. After the completion of the lecture, you will be able to give proper definition of accident, the causes and prevention. Number 2, you'll be able to name common accident stroke hazard in workplace. The third objective is that you should be able to highlight the effects of accident on the victim, the family member, the colleagues, the establishment, and the nation as a whole. And the last but not the least, be able to mention general safety rules in the workshop. That is, what are the safety measures we need to take in order to avoid unnecessary accident. Definition of safety precaution. Although there are many definitions that can be given to safety precaution, but in this class we are restricting ourselves into only two. The first definition: safety precaution can be defined as the action taken in advance to protect against possible dangers, failure, or injuries. That is, the measure we take in order to forestall unnecessary accident, in order to curb failure or any injury that might arise in the course of carrying out our duty. Number two, it's also known as the rules and regulations that are taken in order to ensure that workplace equipment and environment is safe and free of hazard or other undesirable outcomes. That is the necessary steps we need to take so that the environment we are working, the equipment we are using, they are free for the users, and the users are not exposed to unnecessary danger or hazard. Definition of accident. Accident is an undesirable or unfortunate happening in the process of carrying out one's duty in the workshop. It occurs suddenly without prior knowledge. It can be with or without injury, harm, damage, loss of machine or human, depending on one's luck. Some people usually make comments that they nearly had accidents if something suddenly happened to them, for example like slipping up, fall, or knocking their hand or leg against any object or something similar to that. Since injury did not occur, they believe that they did not have any accident. In fact, they did, but they were only lucky not to have incurred any injury. The common accidents in the workplace are slip, trip, or fall as a result of knocking against objects, obstacle, or oil spillage on the floor. Striking against or struck by moving object is another common accident. One can experience burn or cut. One can strike one's hand or finger with hammer in the process of hammering, or knock the hand or knuckle against any hard object. Electric shock is another form of accident that are common in the workplace. Causes of accidents. Accidents do not just happen, but are caused due to failure of one element or the other. When people refuse to follow simple safety rules and regulations, it can lead to accident. Causes of accident can generally be classified into three: human causes, technical causes, and environmental factor. Human causes. Human causes include the following: overconfidence. Because I have been doing this job for long, they tend to develop overconfidence and will not observe simple rules and regulation. Lack of experience in the person that is doing the job. If a person that is operating the machine or equipment lack experience, it can lead to accident. Or loss of interest in a given job. If a person doing the job did not have interest in that particular job, as a result of that, he may not take the proper precaution, and this can lead to accident. Daydreaming, when you're supposed to give the machine or the equipment the 100% attention, now begin to have wandering mind and thought, thinking about things that are not necessary to be thought about when supposed to be working. Carelessness on the part of the workers can also result in accident. Fatigue, you have overworked yourself, you have enough rest, and you are engaging yourself in an equipment and you are tired in the process. This can lead to a serious accident. Forgetfulness on the part of the operator or the worker can also cause accident. Personal bad habits like smoking, drug abuse, drinking, and at the same time operating machine or equipment can cause a serious accident. Lack of skill or knowledge on the part of the operator on the particular equipment or the machine that you are working with can lead to accident. Improper dressing is another cause of accident that is caused by human being. And when one is not properly dressed, wearing a flowing garment, flapping ties, wearing long earrings, chains, wristwatch, ring, all this one can be trapped in any rotating part or moving part of the machine. Or not wearing safety boot, and accidentally one can knock one's leg against hard object or step a sharp object that can inflict a deep cut. Also, operating the machine at an unsafe speed, this can lead to serious accident. Violation of safety rules and regulation is another cause of accident. When some people refuse to use protective devices that have been provided, and at the same time operating and working on the equipment, this can result in an accident. Some people, they refuse to comply with given procedure, and as a result of that may incur accident in the process and many other. Secondly, technical causes. Technical causes ranges from unsafe working conditions. When you are working under a condition that is not safe, one is liable to accident. When a worker is using defective tools and machines, this one will expose the user to accident. Also, improper material handling method can cause accident. For example, one is removing waste material, machine off cut, swab, chips and the like that are having very sharp edges with bare hand instead of using other method to remove them. This can inflict a deep cut in one's hand, and if care is not taken, tetanus can enter in the process. This one should be avoided. Wrong and faulty layout of plant can also cause accident. When someone is using broken safety devices, this can lead to accident. When the machineries, especially the rotating and the moving parts, are not properly guided, or they are not guided at all, this can expose anybody to serious danger. Lack of maintenance of equipment is another cause of accident. When machines and machineries and equipment are not properly maintained as when due, or being handled by an untrained or qualified person, when an equipment is being overloaded, and this can also cause an accident. Environmental factor, the last but not the least. When somebodies are working in environment that are not friendly, for example noisy environment, a signal or warning that are being given can be misinterpreted by the co-worker, or may not even hear it at all. In the process, this can lead to accident or undesirable or palatable occurrence. Poor lighting and ventilation, when somebody is working where the lighting is not so good, the person may not see any projected objects or any object that is lying on the floor, and can experience a serious fall as a result of that. When the ventilation is bad, one can be choked up, and fumes and smoke that are coming from a wedding can block some people's view and object. You may not see any obstruction on the way. Poor housekeeping is another environmental factor. When the working environment are dirty, things are packed here and there, and as a result of that, one can be exposed to unnecessary accident. When the gangway or walkway are blocked, people working in that conditions are exposed to accident or liable to an unfortunate occurrence. Sources of accident. There are a lot of sources of accidents in the workshop. Some are revolving shafts, spindles of machines, bar tools, or projected parts of the machine. All this one can cause accidents if somebody is in contact with them, or clothes or anything that the worker may be wearing get entangled with them, it can lead to accident. Protruding nails and sharp objects is another source of accidents. Another source of accidents may be the fasteners that are using to tighten or hold parts together. For example, key head, pin, screw, bolt and nut, especially when they are on the revolving part of the machine, they are serious source of accident. Driving bed, revolving cutting tools, materials handling equipment, loose clothing, all this one can cause accidents, especially when the driving bed or revolving cutting tools are not well guided or protected and shielded from human
contact, and in the process of handling materials or equipment, and if they are not well handled or not using proper equipment for them, all these things can cause accident. Somebody that is wearing a loose garment of flowing garments, agbada, babariga and the like, all this one can easily be trapped into any part of the machine or any projected part of the equipment. Prevention of accident. Accident can be prevented. As you know that accidents do not just occur, they are caused by some factors. If all those factors are guarded against, accident can be reduced or eliminated completely. How do we prevent accident? By proper clothing. You should make sure that you wear proper clothing when you are coming to the workshop. Put on your overall, your safety boots. There is no reason for you to come to the workshop with bathroom slippers or palm sandals or anything that can expose your leg to any sharp object or hard material. Personal hygiene is another thing that if people observe it, it can prevent accident. There are some processes that are hazardous. All those processes can be eliminated or substituted with less hazardous one. Good housekeeping is another thing one can do to prevent accident. The working place should be kept tidy. If there's any spillage, it should be mop up immediately in order to prevent serious fall. Proper and regular maintenance of equipment is so also important in order to prevent accident, and this one should be done by qualified personnel. An untrained person should not be allowed to fiddle with any equipment. No trial and error. Maintenance should be done as when due by qualified personnel. Another thing can do to prevent accident is training. The employees, they require regular and proper training, especially when new technology or equipment have just been acquired. Before they start to work on it, they require to be trained and given proper training and regularly. And also the workplace should be well lighting. Good lighting systems should be used. The lighting should be used such a way that revolving shaft does not appear to be stationary when viewed under stroboscopic effect. Therefore, phase cancellation methods should be employed, and the lighting should be good and adequate so that if there's any obstruction, it can be seen far ahead, and if there's any blockage on the way, one can easily see it. Environment that is poor lighting or bad lighting is not good. Safety awareness is also a very important factor. There should be regular safety awareness campaign among the workers, and there should be regular safety training, and educational posters should be made available and be pasted in places where they can be easily be seen and read by people. It should not be in obscure places. It should be well displayed and adequate in order to give information about a particular equipment and general conduct in the workplace. General safety rules in the workshop. What are the general safety rules in the workshop? General safety rules in the workshop vary from proper dressing. When you are coming to the workshop, you should properly dress. You should not put on flowing garments, loose clothes, hanging earrings, bangles, rings, wristwatch, flapping ties, necklaces, because all these can get trapped in the revolving or rotating parts of the equipment. This can lead to serious injury. Should be no case that somebody should come to the workshop with bedroom slippers, ordinary sandal, palm sandal. Correct shoe should be put on. Recommended one is the safety boot, because that one has been designed to guide your legs against any knock or sharp object you might accidentally step on. No horseplay is allowed, jumping here and there. The workshop is not a gym or playing ground. If you want to engage yourself in such thing, go out and do it. But when you come to the workshop, there should be no place. You should concentrate on what you are doing. In no case that you should engage yourself in a traveling or wandering thought when you are working on the machine. You should give it your 100% attention. And if there is any spillage of oil or the like on the floor, it should be immediately mop up. This one will avoid serious fall in the workshop by unknown person who may not know that there is any spillage on the floor. Untrained person, especially the students, should not be allowed to remain alone in the workshop or allow them to handle equipment without supervision. Before they are engaged in any work, they should be trained on how to handle those equipment or the tools, and they should be well supervised. They should not be left alone without any supervisor around. All the gangways, pathway should be kept free, should not be blocked with equipment, materials or any other thing. And the machine guard should not be removed by anybody for any reasons, because they are there to prevent contact by human being with some moving and rotating parts of equipment. And if there's any reason for them to be removed, maybe for maintenance or any repairs, a notice should be inscribed and attached to the machine so that people can keep away from them. And the process of installation, especially electrical installation, standard wires should be used for all installation. And the work should not be contracted to quack person, but qualified persons should be engaged in all these kind of job. And all the equipment and electrical installation should be properly hard, and there's no other reason but to prevent electric shock. An equipment that is not properly hard, if there is any case of surge or leakage, it can expose the user or passerby to electric shock. Effect of accident. Effect of accident are so numerous. both on the victim and people that surrounding the family members, co-workers, even the management. They will suffer one effect or the other. The effect ranges from minor injuries to permanent disability. At times it can lead to the loss of life. Some people, they have become incapacitated today as a result of accident. Many breadwinner, they can no longer perform the duties they supposed to perform at home to all their beneficiaries, and they now turn to people that are now dependable on others. Some have lost their job as a result of accident because they suffer serious injury which will not allow them to be able to perform their duties again. This lead to the economic loss in the family, even as a result of many days of the duties by employees. The establishments will have to provide for the hospital bill, medical bill, so that the person will be recovered from whatever injury the person has sustained. And in this period, the man or the woman involved will not be able to perform any duties, and at the same time salary will be paid, which or somebody else will be engaged to do the work which is lost to the establishment. Even the medical bill at times will be borne by the family, which is another source of economic loss. At times it may lead to the damage of equipment or facilities, or even the entire building as a whole, which is going to be a great loss to the establishment, because another set of money will be needed to replace all those equipment or facilities that have been damaged as a result of accident. Some, because they have become incapacitated, they will lose their job as a result of the accident they were involved in. Summary and conclusion. In the course of this class, we have discussed the safety precaution. We discussed that safety precaution is the action taken in advance to prevent unpalatable experience or accident or danger or failure. We also talk about the causes of accident. We are told that accidents do not just happen. They are usually due to the negligence of someone not doing the proper thing at the right time. We also discuss that accident can be prevented, or if they cannot be eliminated entirely, they can be reduced to minimum level. Likewise, we also discuss about the general safety rules and regulation we need to observe and imbibe in order to prevent accident. We also talk about the effect of the accident, not on the victim alone, but on the entire family members, co-workers, organization, and the nation as a whole, because many able workforce have been lost to the accident because people refuse to obey simple rules and regulation. And in this lesson, we are being taught that safety is very paramount to us. Therefore, safety should be the first in everything we do. In the next class, we are going to look at fire and prevention of fire. And what is fire? And how can we prevent fire? All these things will be discussed in the next class. I implore you to read ahead before we meet, so that when we are discussing, you'll be flowing along with us. In this, This class has been a wonderful one to me. I don't know if it has been the same with you. If it has been the same with you, I want you to continue without spirit. I wish you nice time. I say bye bye for now until meet for the next class. Please enjoy yourself very well, but as you are enjoying yourself, do not forget that safety is first in anything that we do. Bye for now.